It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Good morning and welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for your Saturday morning tradition that you can listen to or watch 24 hours a day, anytime you want to, if you want to stream it later, but that's okay. It's called Gardening Inside Out. I'm coming to you live here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And how are you this morning, Mr. Bates?
Josh, I'm doing rather well.
I know you are.
Good to see you this morning, and it's good to be seen. And it looks like, we're having really a pretty mild stretch as we now venture on into the first week of June. Why don't we get into what the weather holds for us?
All right.
And we'll discuss that and all the things connected with it. And today, of course, is the 7th of June.
Wow.
Already a week into it. Here it is. 83 for the high today. We're going to have some late afternoon thunderstorms, so you really can get the whole day in before that occurs. We'll be looking at the radar here in a second. Tomorrow, Sunday, morning clouds, sun in the afternoon, 85 degrees. Really nice. I mean, I still don't see 90s anywhere. Well, I do see one. But Monday, 81, 64, again, afternoon thunderstorm. So we're not dry right now. We really have a good reserve of moisture on hand. Tuesday, 87, 64, partly cloudy conditions, mostly sunny on Wednesday. That's when the 90-degree temperature hits. And it takes us on into Thursday, where we will again get close to 90, 89, 72, partly cloudy. Perhaps storms again by next weekend. It's kind of been a theme, this recurring weekend rainfall that comes along. Let me now move us on to the radar, and we'll see that there indeed is there's a blob out there to the west, and it's moving steadily this direction. But it will be late in the day before it arrives, so no worries about today. A lot of opportunities to get out and do what you're planning to get done in the garden or whatever life you have planned, but it was probably gardening, Josh. Why would it be?
If you're in the 37167 or the immediate area of Smyrna, there will be traffic closures because we're going to be out gardening and watching the air show at the same time today.
Oh, yes, that's right. It may be the low show today, depending on what the cloud cover is. Looking at the 6 to 10 day precip outlook, it's going to be a little above normal, not hugely. So nothing out of the line there. Looking here at our weather station here at Bates Nursery, it's about 74 degrees currently. We have not received any rainfall here in, 1/100th, sometime after midnight. 2100ths for the week and also for the month, because we're only a week into it. We're right at 33 inches for the year, which is
crazy.
Pretty amazing amount. Again, 74 degrees here. Live from the green room here at Bates Nursery. So I guess it's time to acknowledge that, Josh, you and I don't do this alone. We've got a couple of wonderful, capable, and informed folks in our company. Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen, welcome in, guys. Glad to have you this morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
It's
and,
great
of course, none of this would happen were it not for Tyler Blankenship across the way.
Who is turning on his camera currently? I know, guys. I've been right up against it, y'all.
Strike
right
two.
up
There he
there.
is.
It didn't take that long,
It all,
though.
it
Looks
all
like there's a big
happens on
piano in
some
front of
time
you.
scale. It's just not. It's just in time, and today is no exception. So we're glad to have all participants aboard today, and we're here ready to talk about what you want to talk about, and that's namely questions you've got with regard to your garden. But before we get into that, let's pitch it over to Caroline and Austin to see what thoughts you've got this week. There's a lot of interaction with people that come in and they've got plant issues or questions going on, or I don't know what to put where. So What do you got this morning?
I think you just kind of nailed it with the people have kind of already bought most of all their stuff and they're watching it grow. And maybe some new gardeners or even old gardeners are coming in with questions when they have some issues. Okay. It's the kind of time of year for a little bit of issues.
It's
Let's
the
be
question
honest.
season.
It's the question season, mainly with bugs, mainly with fungus. We've been so wet, as y'all know, and still wet last night. I mean, we had a downpour. I'm actually mad.
What?
Oh,
That's right.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
We're starting with drama.
starting early with drama.
I'm mad.
All right, why
Walked
are you
out
mad?
this morning because, y'all, I cut back my petunias and fertilized them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I told y'all this, all right?
yes.
They've beefed up, they've swelled up, they look fantastic, and they threw their like big bloom yesterday. Well, kind of the day before yesterday, but they were in full bloom, okay?
And the
Last
rain.
night, it was a downpour, and it was like a hard, heavy rain, Forrest Gump downpour at my house. Yeah, David, you know the reference. It blew in from all ways, and it was heavy rain and all that stuff. So my petunias this morning were laying down mush on the ground.
That's the worst for you.
I mean, the foliage was fine, but the blooms are all wrecked. So I'm mad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So
That's what you had to
what are you
wake
going
up
to do
to.
about that, Austin?
I
That's
can't do
what I want
anything,
to know.
David.
Because other people may have had the same experience, and you're the man.
Yeah,
you're
well-
the petunia man for sure.
I definitely, petunia guy for sure.
Are you going to cut them? Are you going to wait? What are you going to do?
I mean, I could at this point just
Don't let
deadhead them
them
probably
dry
with my
out.
fingers. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully they dry out today. But then I'll get home tonight and it's going to rain again. So it's like I think I'm just going to stay mad at them for the day.
I think they'll be okay.
Oh, they'll be fine. They're going to rebloom, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just one of those things. It's like gardening. You're so annoying
Always
sometimes.
something.
Always
Right.
something.
Yes.
But I was glad to get the rain. I mean,
Yes.
our plant life, our flora around town is so beautiful this year, y'all. I mean, we're as lush can be. So let's be thankful for that as gardeners. All right.
It's beautiful right now.
It is.
Yeah, everything is blooming. My pollinator beds are popping, looking great.
yeah. It's
I
lot
did
of
a
good
little
stuff.
project when I got home before it started raining. It took a while. It wasn't a big project, but I finally cut back a lot of my catmint that was like a big shrub. It had bloomed. There it is. I sent it to Tyler last night.
Wow.
There's the before and after.
Wow.
Tightened it up.
I did. And I'll get another rebloom really, really soon. Yeah, I really cut it back a whole lot. But you can see how big it was. It
Did
was
you prune off like 12 inches or something?
at least.
at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half
I
a-
picked it up
half
and
a
it was
bird bath,
it was like
yeah.
half my body length. So yes, about
About
half a bird bath, kind
yeah.
of a full bird bath. I'm like 2 bird baths as far as height goes. So yeah,
Well,
I
good.
got a project done before the rain set
Is
in
that
and
your height?
decimated Austin's petunias.
Is that your
that
height,
back up.
Caroline, or is that the height of whatever you're cutting back?
What, a bird bath?
No, the two bird bath height you
I'm
made
about
reference
2 bird
to.
baths, like the tops. Like if you turn them on the side, the tops. We're not talking about like a full bird bath, base and top included.
Yeah, forget the metric system, guys.
Yeah,
So
let's
come
talk
on,
bird baths.
Well,
But yeah, I got some done before the rain came, and I noticed my apple blossom petunias were looking great. Now I don't know what they look like this morning because I ran out the door real fast.
they're beat down to the earth.
Yes.
Maybe not, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they are.
probably. That rain came down. I couldn't even really see out my window for a minute.
It came down hard where we were at.
Then my power went out. That was exciting.
Fun.
But yeah, that's
Well,
what I got.
Obviously, in every life, a little rain must fall. And so we, despite the chagrin it may bring at times, we have to learn to deal with it. And we're all in it together. So, Josh, I know that rain doesn't affect what you do at all.
No, that didn't. You try to get a lumber package on a job with a forklift in the mud.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Or get a door truck from the road to the garage door in the mud. I mean, you can't. It's not happy. It's not happy.
Well,
Mhm.
so sad.
At least the plants are happy.
That's
they are.
right. Well, speaking of happy plants, we got some happy questions and some not happy questions, but
Yes.
let's go ahead and dive into them, shall we?
We
Hey.
shall.
Okay. We're going to start with an email that we got from Sheila. Sheila says,
Sheila.
we have a courtyard with cedar raised beds used for lettuce in the spring and tomatoes, peppers, etc. in the summer. My husband wants to do a late planting in July of beans. Will plants be available then? The courtyard is going through renovation, so it's been delayed things here. Do you have other suggestions for late planting in a small bed?
I think your idea with beans is totally fine. I mean, that's the good thing about beans. They like it hot, and they're a short day crop. And I'm
Get
in this
some
circle
seeds.
again.
Yeah.
Tyler, you think it's so funny?
Tyler, this circle is too much, and the pan
Gosh,
over.
he said it's
It's,
cute.
the
Is
focus
it?
is on you.
Yeah. But anyway, the beans are a short day crop, usually only 50 days or so. So, and you don't have to worry about buying plants. That's the good thing. You're going to start those from seed, y'all.
Absolutely.
They're so easy to grow from seed. I was just talking to you about mine a couple days ago. I started them, and I think I planted like 8 seeds, and I figured like half of them would come up because that seed packet was like 4 years old. They
You
all
got 14
germinated.
plants, yeah.
Yeah. It doubled. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Generally speaking, if you've got an old packet of seeds, and it really doesn't matter what kind of seeds, you only lose about 5% germination per year. It could be as much as 10, but I don't think it's typically more than about 5%. So, don't ever pitch those old seeds. You're going to put them out there, particularly like in beans. I mean, it's the most no-brainer of planting, particularly for a second crop that there is. So proceed.
yes.
And I did, and now I have so many bean plants.
It's been
I've already harvested some, actually.
yeah, and it's been a wonderful green bean season so far. I mean, wonderful.
I'm pulling jalapenos today.
Are you?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Already?
I've got a lot of cayenne peppers, but I haven't had jalapenos come on yet.
Yep. Oh, it's covered up.
Not yet, but they're looking good. I planted a ton of peppers, and they're all looking great this year. Most of my veggie garden is looking really good. Yeah. So let's stick on the vegetable talk. My cucumber plant isn't thriving despite our wet weather. Tips and tricks. Mine are waiting because it hasn't gotten really hot. They look good. They're
Maybe
just not really
because-
growing.
Yeah, maybe because of the wet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some things are loving it, and then some things get a little too wet, and we get a little something down in the soil, and then you see some
I didn't
stuff
even
on
try
top.
this year.
Really?
They got too bad last year. And they got
Mine were terrible last
awful.
year.
I didn't even try them.
Mine look great this year so far. We'll see.
Oh, mine are cooking. They're looking really,
Cooking?
really good. Yeah, they're cooking.
Already cooking
We're
them.
gonna be
cucumbers.
cooking with them.
Cooking them cukes.
No, they're still real leafy right now. No blooms or anything yet, but they're starting to swell up and look nice. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that can happen with cucumbers. I'd like to see some pictures to see what's going on. But like David said, I mean, it's been wet, and sometimes too wet is too much, and you're seeing signs of that.
Fungus.
If you have soil that doesn't perk particularly well, or you have planted them in maybe a little bit of a low spot, that can exacerbate the issues pretty much. So if you know you've got that kind of situation in the future, you may want to mound them up just slightly to get them up out of that wet feet situation, and that'll help alleviate that to some degree. The hard part is knowing whether it's going to be a wet year or a dry year. So, that's the tough part.
It's hard to know.
So far, it's a wet year.
Yeah.
Austin did mention sending us photos. So if you're wondering how to send those to us, gardeninginsideout@gmail.com is the best place to send it, but you can send it on Facebook, Instagram platforms through our DMs. So we can take a look at those photos and throw them up on the show if you want
Yes.
us to. We've got some great photos coming at you a little bit later in the broadcast. Let's talk one of your favorites, Austin.
Okay.
Dahlias.
Dahlias.
Yes.
Dahlias.
Dahlias.
I have 10 different dahlia bulbs. Should
Good.
I plant them in the ground or pots? I have clay dirt. You
Yes.
said good.
It'll be Tyler.
That was the wrong button.
Oh, wow. You just gave away what I said we had in store for later, Tyler.
It's okay, Tyler. No one saw that.
No one did see that.
It's a tease.
Yeah, that's right, David. Just a little tease for later.
But someone does need to see some dahlias. So this is up to you, though, honestly. I've grown dahlias both in the ground or in pots. They're both fine. The thing about pots is that they get very thirsty as the summer draws on, y'all, and they're dramatic. Okay, so they will wilt heavy, wilt hard, and their root system is really insane, I've noticed. Like even in a fairly large container, they'll fill out a whole pot pretty quickly. So if you get them in the ground, now you can amend the soil a little bit if you have heavy clay, amend with some earth mix, come out and get some of that. Amend your soil and get it in the ground. It's going to be a lot easier on you as the summer draws on because they're going to get moisture from the ground typically. But let's go ahead and get those things planted. I want to see pictures of that. 10 different varieties of dahlias. Come on now.
And
better
it's
than
not
that.
just a moisture issue, it's a soil temperature issue.
Yes.
So as we get into warmer weather, in particular, the dahlias will react somewhat to just, that soil above the ground in a container, in a pot, is going to be probably 10 to 15 degrees, if not 20 degrees warmer than what's in the ground. So there may be some reaction to that, and those things are kind of hand in glove. They're events that occur together, and if you're dealing with one issue, you're likely are dealing with the other.
You can put a pot in the ground I've seen people do that.
You know, pot and pot.
Mm-hmm.
If you
I've
want
done
to
that with
bring them
mums
in,
before.
that's an easy way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just pick them up, bring it in.
A lot easier to find them in the wintertime, too, if you're going to pull, because you have to lift your dahlias.
Yeah.
I've never grown them, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah, you don't have to lift your dahlias, but you have way better success. Like you almost have 100% success if you lift them and bring them in. If you leave them in the ground, then you're just going to see some return and some not return, if any of them return.
Freeze, rot.
Yeah, they can rot. Yeah, they're just
And that's
susceptible to a
not
lot more
an
things.
inexpensive tuber.
No, dahlias are
It's
expensive.
not. I don't grow that one.
Right.
Too fancy for me. Tyler, you grew dahlias, didn't you? And
Yeah.
you kind of had one wouldn't come back each year. Is that right?
50% return rate.
Yeah.
Until there was nothing, because you can't divide one.
Takes a long time to get to there, though, but not with dahlias.
I started with 6, next year 3, next year 1.
And this year, none.
Yeah. And then I overwintered one in a pot for a while.
Oh, well, there you go. So if you do pots, you can overwinter it. Ben Trest, one of our landscape specialists here at the nursery, it's actually his last day.
What?
It is.
Yeah, gonna miss
Thank
him.
you, Ben, for everything you've done all these years. He's a great guy, and we're happy for his future opportunities.
Yes, he will be missed.
Yep.
Love that guy. But he grows dahlias and he always brings them in as soon as they start blooming. And did you see those red ones he brought in this year
Yeah.
with like like black dark leaves and then a bright red bloom? He brought them in. He was like, Caroline, there's a dahlia here at the nursery somewhere. And I had to find it. It was in houseplants, just lurking. But yeah, that's a great cut flower, beautiful plant. I don't grow them. Maybe one day I will. Let's talk coneflowers. 2 coneflower plants got aster yellows. I removed them. Will my other plants be doomed? This is a scary one. Ben also got that and lost all of his echinacea, I think, a few years ago.
And is
Yeah.
it a pathogen?
Oh yeah, it's a virus.
Okay.
No, it's one of the most common viruses of those type plants, the coneflowers, specifically echinacea and asters. Aster yellows is the name of the virus, and it is a nasty, disease. And the thing about viruses is they don't go away, and they're not curable in the plant world. So what you did is what you had to do, and that's to get rid of the material that you had that had the virus in it. Okay, now you're not necessarily going to see that virus again. It's not a soil-borne pathogen at all. It's spread by an insect. Okay, typically mites, also leaf hoppers can transmit it. Thrips can transmit. There's a lot of things that can vector that virus, is what we call. So if you're fairly pest-free in your garden, you may not see this again. But like I said, you did all you could do, and that's getting rid of the infected plant material. So good
Now,
start
and
there.
when you say pest free, ladies, we're not talking about your husbands.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Although it could apply. I'm not saying that it doesn't.
But it could. I did actually had that issue one year. One of my echinacea in the spring, when it woke up, when it shot its first bloom, I did notice it. It looks all I was going to say malfunction, but that's not the word. It's just
Malformed.
malformed. That's it.
Yeah.
The bloom looks
Mutated,
crazy.
yeah.
It's kind of a cool look, but it's not a good look. And it was close to other echinacea. It was in the same bed, but I pulled that up. I threw it away. I got it out of there, and I didn't have an issue. No other plants got it. So I would say there's hope for your other plants.
Oh yeah, and you specifically grow a ton of plants that are susceptible to aster yellows. So
yeah.
I mean, you getting them out of there is the way to go. I mean, even a non-gardener, someone who doesn't know plants at all, could look at an echinacea that has aster yellows and they'd be like, "That looks weird.
What
like
is
that's
that?"
a funny looking something." So if you see that, you kind of need to take
Now,
care of it.
Would
done with it.
you suggest treating any of the plants, like spraying stuff, or just
You can preventatively spray for insects.
like if they already have it?
No. If they've already
Well,
got the
no. I
virus.
mean, after they get rid of those, should they treat their other plants just in case?
For other bugs, potentially. I mean, yeah, if you want to keep it pest free, I don't know, which insect was vectoring that virus, but if you could get rid of those and get it back clean, you may not see that spreading near as much.
Yeah. It's a scary thing.
Yep.
So scary.
Vectoring of a pest and pathogens is just one of the things that are challenges for gardeners. But you can get around a lot of that. The most resilient plants are the healthiest, most vibrant, actively growing plants. And you only really get that shot when you are planting. And that's where Earth Mix Garden Products comes into play. Made right here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a 100% organic. There is no chemical additives whatsoever. Only additional amounts of what Mother Nature provides directly, Josh. And of course, that's endo and ecto mycorrhiza fungi. It's humic acid. There is elemental sulfur added, and that's all done at the supernatural level, which is a product name for our compost. So supernatural is the standard for compost and what you can possibly do with it to produce consistent, reliable results. And it's not sold as a fertilizer, but your plants won't be able to know that because it really adds a lot of nutritional value that you won't get otherwise. Now, Supernatural is also an input in several other products downstream. Earth Mix Garden, Proganics O are a couple of things that come to mind. And because it is infused into those other products, when you buy those, you also are getting that great product in there. Now, those are all blends of products. We also have Proganics I, which is the indoor mix. Caroline will recommend that a lot in the houseplant area. What it has, and what is common also throughout the line of Earth Mix products, is there's no peat moss in any of it. It's coconut coir. We feel like it's a more sustainable choice, and you don't get fungus gnats with it. So if you're looking for products that have had the thought process applied to them, the level of experience that comes with master horticulturalists and people who try to grow stuff on a professional level every day, you want to choose Earth Mix Garden products. It really takes the work and increases your level of success in your gardening efforts. So you can check out all the locations. Just go to earthmix.net, click on the Find Earth Mix tab, is on the on the top right of the photograph there, and there you'll see all the pins show up. Really heavily populated all across Kentucky, Tennessee, Northern Alabama, additionally, Western North Carolina, and way out in Crested Butte, Colorado.
Wow.
Check out all the locations. You can put your address in for turn-by-turn directions or simply zoom into a location nearest you. Remember this, success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix Garden products. And Josh, what is it you like to say?
It takes 4 things in this life to be successful in the garden. This life, the gardening life.
Only 4 things.
You need sunshine, water, plants, and Earth Mix. That's it.
There you go.
Happy life. Happy life.
Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes to talk about that and help take the work out of your gardening efforts. Gardening should be a more easily successful project and an endeavor. And Earth Mix helps you assure you're going to get really excellent results consistently. So thanks.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
4 things.
My containers with Earth Mix in it this year are money.
Blowing up.
Every
What
one
else
of them's
is money?
What's in bloom? With Austin.
Money blooms.
Money blooms.
No, I don't know how I said that.
Yes.
Caroline had to do the green room yesterday. I was busy being an HVAC guy out here.
You're
It was
doing
great.
great.
Oh, yeah, I was trying my best. Anyway, but she went with a blue theme this year, so I thought I'd start the
This
list with-
year?
This show. Sorry, this week. She went blue. So let's start with a cute little blue flower that I don't even know if y'all know what it is, but it's cute. You typically start it from seed. Bachelor buttons.
Oh, I'm growing those
Hey.
this year. I love those.
You know, we don't sell those as a perennial or anything, but you throw some seed out, you're probably going to see them return every year. Bachelor buttons, what a cute little plant. Hey, echinacea's going off right now. They are really, really pretty and beautiful. I haven't talked about echinacea this year, but I saw a stand up on my way in this morning, and I was like, whoo, boy, they're looking good. Daylilies still going off. Asiatic lilies still going off, but they're almost done. They're not the longest bloomer on the planet, but they're really pretty when they are. Shasta daisies blooming white, looking pretty, and verbena right there next to it. Just sprawly, spready. Some perennial, some annual, doesn't matter, but verbena's a very nice little plant. Hey, your elderberry's still huge and annoying. Clematis.
Yes, it is.
Clematis is still going for me. Calla lilies and canna lilies. I saw my first canna this morning. That's usually kind of later, I feel like. But hey, I saw actually, David was at your house over there. I saw one in the yard going off. So hey, your cannas
mine's not
are
yet.
blooming.
Amazing.
It was just one. I just saw one little bloom, but I was like, well, got to feature you. Roses still going off, looking pretty good, but they're starting to get their issues. That's what they do. Butterfly bush. Reesh, hope you're watching because yours is probably blue and beautiful right now. I saw
buddy.
a big one on the way in this morning, looking great. And then, hey, all your hydrangeas. How can we not? The endless summers, all the blues and the pinks, the Annabelles, the panicles are just starting, the oak leaves are finishing. It's just hydrangea season. We all love our hydrangeas. How could you not? They're beautiful. And the endless summer, the ones that like sometimes don't bloom each year, like are blooming this year. They did not suffer a late frost. All the buds cracked nicely. So I'm seeing a lot of blue out there, seeing a lot of pink. It's what we love to see with those style hydrangeas. Love them. And then, hey, let's talk about some trees, y'all.
Yeah.
There's some summertime trees going off. All right. I saw my very first crepe myrtle blooming. Now it's only the white one. I've actually seen 2 or 3, but they've all been white. Have not seen any other colors yet besides that first white one. But that's the first start, y'all. Get ready. Be talking about that for 2 months because they're long blooming. All right. Hey, Chinese chestnut. That's a pretty tree. Do y'all even know what it is? It looks like starfish are spraying from the edges of this massive tree, okay? Chinese chestnut is a beautiful, beautiful plant. I think it's worth growing. It's got serrated foliage. It's just an underrated, unknown tree that is really, really pretty this time of year.
It's gorgeous.
And makes chestnuts, so that's kind of cool. Golden rain trees, the yellow ones I talked about. Gosh, you just can't beat it. Compound leaves, fast growing, not a crazy big tree, and it blooms yellow. I can't say enough. Love those. Okay, sweet bay magnolia, tiny little white blooms, but smelling fantastic. They'll knock you down. And then our southern magnolia. Hey, talked about it last week, but that's still blooming and gonna be for a while. And then let's talk about the goat, maybe even the anti-goat.
Yep.
I don't know, but it's fantastic. And it's beautiful. Some of y'all will disagree, and I'm okay though. This is a platform where we can disagree if we want. But one of my favorite flowering trees on the planet that is popping off right now is your mimosa.
Oh.
Hey, there it is.
The surest
And
sign
I can,
of summer.
Yep, and I can hear it now. I can hear it now. That's invasive. It's gross. It's not good, but it's like, it's invasive. Yeah, I'll give you that. I was looking it up last night just to kind of, go through some stuff. And it was like one of the things that Missouri Botanical Garden said is that it's escaped cultivation. And I think that's just a funny way of saying it's invasive. Okay. And it is a little invasive, y'all, but it's not like bush honeysuckle. It's not like privet. Like it's not that invasive, but it is beautiful. Some people call it silk tree. Some people call it umbrella tree. And that's because of its growth habit. Very upright and very sprawly, open that way. And it'll cover this perfect little canopy that's got beautiful pink pom-pom blooms atop of it that birds and butterflies.
Josh is over there. Do it again, Josh.
Josh is he's spraying it for me. He gets it.
Buddy.
He
Yeah.
talked
And
about
one of the things that kind of controls them is this crown gall lot that can get in there.
And wind.
I was about to say, it's not like the longest lived tree on the planet. It has some
and
weak wood.
it's minimally invasive.
That's the way I feel. And if it's going to be minimally invasive, but as beautiful as it is, I'm all about it. I'm taking it. I love it. Look, butterflies, bees cannot get enough of this bloom. I mean, they are all over it. The blooms smell great. It's a compound leaf, which is cool. It's the fastest growing tree I think I've ever seen. I'm not even joking. Like, if you start with a tiny one, it is insane how fast it grows. So I'm sorry. It's a little invasive, but it's beautiful, and I'm taking that. Mimosa, the goat. Thank y'all for that.
Don't apologize. I love that tree.
I like them too, but if you lose half of it, get rid of the other side, folks. I mean, they are not pretty when they have been damaged.
Josh, what a great point. Like, if you lose half of it, don't try to get it back into shape again. Look, lob it off pretty much at the base of the plant, and it is right back, y'all. I'm telling you, that's how it works. So just restart.
Just cut it. I have one in my front yard. It was actually a weeping chocolate mimosa that a few Bates folks got for me for my birthday one year. Well, it died back to the graft in the winter of 2022. So now it's just like a straight species, but I give it like a hard cut about to here every winter. So it just keeps it short and in check. And it's kind of a cool looking tree now.
Looks like a mimosa bush.
It's got a thick trunk, and then it's got this little umbrella, very short up top.
And if you clean up around the bottom of it, it doesn't spread near as bad.
Oh, I got one in the yard. I just mow around it.
Yep.
I mean, you're just taking care of it. It's kind of like sumac. Like, I got a stand of sumac in the yard. If I don't mow for 2 weeks, I got sumac this big
Oh, that
in the
plant
yard.
is crazy. I don't like that one.
I'm not huge on. I'm pretty sure sumac is the only plant that I can really think of that's native to all 50 states. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Wow.
I may have just made that up, but I don't think I did. That's in my brain somewhere.
I will say that it's much more invasive than mimosa is.
I think it is, but we call it native, so it's
And It's a
okay.
native, so
It's
that makes
not
it
a
okay.
Bradford pear, people. No.
No, that one is the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have one mimosa on my property other than the one in my front yard, but one that was just already there when I bought my house. And it's still the only one on the back of my property. It has not
That's what I'm saying.
come up from seed anywhere else. The sumac everywhere. Like I have to keep mowing it down. It grows so fast. It just like shoots up this one stalk and then just like a few little leaves up top, and it just keeps getting bigger and growing faster.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
It's a wild one. Speaking
Talk
of
to us,
wild
YouTube.
bagworms.
We see you out there. Happy, we see you out there, but nobody's commenting on YouTube this morning. So
They might be a little sleepy.
Yeah,
It's
they're
been
sleepy.
rainy.
Okay.
Y'all comment and let us know what you think about mimosa trees.
Yes.
How about that? Joyce, I
Joyce,
see
I'm
you.
sure
Joyce.
you got something to say.
Yeah,
Jane.
Joyce has been very quiet.
Joyce, wake up, man.
Yeah. Get you some more coffee, Joyce. All right, bagworms. What can I do about bagworms?
Okay, it's a very timely question.
Is it?
Yes.
And I know Austin will back me up on this. We're coming up on Father's Day. This is the date you need to remember
It's next Sunday,
for
folks.
bagworms, because if you're going to spray them, it's really your last most effective opportunity. Unfortunately, with bagworms, you don't have the. It really doesn't work using mild organic type of sprays. You got to use something that's got a little more chemical value to it. But if you do it at the right time, you don't have to use a high concentration, and you can do that where the little crawlers, when they come out of the bag, and Father's Day is the time when they have just done that, you'll spray the entire tree and the others that are surrounding it that are also susceptible.
Yep.
It's mainly conifers. Cedars, spruce, junipers, all that kind of thing are really susceptible to them. If you'll spray, you first of all look close for old bags on there.
Yes.
Those bags don't have mature bagworms in them. They have these little crawlers that are coming out right now and coming out in the coming week. So spray them then, and then they're easy to control. If you could just mark it on your calendar. There's something else that, Josh, we need to remember as dads is that spray for bagworms.
Yes.
And it's very effective, very easy to control. And we had one green giant arborvitae that somehow we got past me. I went for a couple of weeks and lost track of it, and the whole top got killed out of it. Now it's growing back out. We were able to spray it and get it under control. But it is a nemesis here in the Mid-South. We do have to be mindful of it. We have this huge amount of what we call cedar trees. They're actually Juniperus virginiana. They
Sure.
are an upright juniper. They are that is the prime target for them, and because we like other conifers, they get it as well. So, what did I miss, Austin? Did I miss
think
something?
you pretty much covered that. I mean, you're right, and we're not immune to the pests either, y'all. Like David just said, we had to emergency spray one last year,
Yes.
or we were going to lose that tree. I mean, there was probably 1,000 of them on there. I mean,
Well,
really,
at least.
yeah.
Great dad activity. If you've got a little small tree that's got, you can start to see the bagworms on from last year in particular. Get the kids out there and put a penny per bag bounty on them. They'll have it big time.
yeah, yep.
Squeeze them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
They're
that needs to
so
happen
gross.
earlier
Yes.
than this day,
Yeah,
because
you
the
need to go.
crawlers are.
And
need
you
to
don't
be
spray
doing
them.
that like-
Don't spray them with the kids around. Let the kids.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't spray it on the kids either.
If I remember correctly, just speaking of Father's Day, I feel like my dad used to shoot stuff into the trees to get them down. And I think it
Systemic?
included fire. So
Yeah.
there's that. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
No, I'm not sure what he was
Austin,
doing.
is there a good
Inoculation.
systemic that works on bagworms? I don't know that there really is.
Yeah, I mean, acephate is probably the one that we sell here. That would probably be your best systemic control for that, and that's going to be a soil drench. That smells awful, so just get ready
Yeah.
for that.
Oh,
But
gosh.
what we use, David, I think we use permethrin. I think, which permethrin is a very effective insecticide. That's really, guys, we obviously do not love to spray around here. We want to not have to ever spray, but sometimes things happen, and when bagworms get that bad, we tend to have to. The good thing about the conifers and the evergreens is that bees are not active around those, so you just spray on. If you have them close to flowering plants, like be careful to not get some drift on your other flowering flowering plants where bees are active. But you don't have to feel so bad about yourself spraying a conifer whenever we're not really affecting bees. We're really targeting that insect that is messing with our investment. Plants are expensive now, and especially screens that we want are giving us what we want, and that costs money. So,
And the other thing is that most of these problems can be prevented by careful observation. And I know that's something that you spend a lot of time just walking around. Now, you don't have to turn leaves over like you do on broadleaf plants on conifers. They're very easy to see.
They look like Christmas
Here's a little
ornaments,
trick that I have found that works for spotting the bagworms. You think you've gotten them all.
Nope.
And then turn your head over like upside down or sideways and look at it, and they'll appear magically. I don't know how that works, but somehow you're seeing them in a different axes or whatever, and they become more visible. So when you think you've gotten them all, I promise you have not, particularly if you've got a heavy infestation.
They're so gross. I've even had them on cactus outside before.
I've had them on brick walls.
On cactus, yeah.
They'll spill off of conifers onto whatever is around them, and I've seen them on broadleaf, on hollies and that kind of thing. They're not attracted to them, but they're not repulsed by them either.
Yeah, one time I was pushing a cart out here, and there was a bagworm hanging from it. I'm like, what do? You're just catching a ride to another
He's moving
plant.
on.
Yeah.
You can't get daconil anymore either, can you? Has daconil been taken off the market?
No, you can still get daconil, I think, but that's a fungicide. I mean, that's more for, that's a fungicide, but it's still out there. We don't sell it, but it's still out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Speaking of out there, comments about mimosa trees. So a lot of people are team mimosa, but Jane Ann Gibbs on YouTube says, about mimosas, like Mama says, if you can't say anything nice, ...
That's right, Jane.
Joyce has been awake since 5 a.m.
Oh,
Joyce,
Way to
you are
go,
awake.
Joyce. Up bright and early.
Way
And
to go,
Teresa
Joyce.
says, I love mimosa trees here in Oklahoma. I also love the liquid mimosa. And Joyce says, liquid mimosas are the best.
Y'all get out, walk your garden, get your mimosa going.
Get your mimosa.
and
get
look
on
at the
out
pretty
there.
mimosas that are around.
Yep. All right. We got a live question from Mikey, who we haven't heard from in a minute. Good
Hey,
morning,
Mikey.
Mikey says, I have a Norfolk Island pine as a houseplant in the wintertime. Now I like to bring it outside for the growing season. What kind of fertilizer should I use, and how often should I fertilize it? This is one of my favorite houseplants, actually. And sadly, you can really only get it around the holiday season, which is very unfortunate. So I try to order a lot here to keep them in stock, but now we're sold out. You can just use a general houseplant fertilizer. That'll be great for it. And they're not heavy feeders, so I would probably just fertilize it like once a month or once every 3 weeks throughout the growing season before you bring it back inside. But it'll be happy out there. Make sure you don't stick it into direct sunlight like we talk about all the time. If it is going to get into a lot of direct sunlight, just slowly acclimate it into that so it doesn't burn its pretty little leaves, because that one will burn like immediately, and it will kill off all that top growth if it does get burned. I've done it
And I think
before.
what may confuse people is that they'll see them in the tropics growing in full sun, and they love full sun, but not once they've acclimatized themselves to lower light conditions. So like you say, Caroline, it's about taking that slow steps to get them adjusted to it, and they can adjust, but not all in one step. It takes moving them from inside the house to mottled shade to a little more sun, and then you can get them eventually out into it. Just feeling of the foliage will tell you. If it's really soft and pliable, it's very much adapted to low light conditions. And as it begins to get more adapted, they become decidedly more stiff and a little tougher. So you can tell just by feeling of it, and not just by looking.
Yes, you can. It's a great plant. I had mine as a low light house plant for years, and it did
And
fantastic.
grew.
My problem was I stuck it out to get rain. The sun came out, burned it, and it
Boom.
died. It was so sad. So sad. All right, we got a live question from Teresa. Japanese maples, is over potting harmful? Can I prune before they go dormant? Got a rehab plant and it needs some shaping and new soil pot. Help.
Okay, well, if it needs a new soil on a pot, we need to go ahead and get that going. I mean, come out and find a pot, get you some soil for it, and let's repot it. Repotting's not hard, and it's fine. And maples totally love being in pots. We have plenty of guests that have a lot of maples in pots. So Sam Boyette's one of those. Hey, Sam, hope you're watching. I hope all your maples are doing well in your pots. But he has like 20-something maples in pots. So potted maples are totally fine. Now, can you do pruning before dormancy? You certainly can. We don't really recommend this for shaping purposes. The reason I say that is because it's easy to shape a Japanese maple whenever you can see every limb and every stem. And you can see which ones you want to cut, which ones you don't want to cut. And whenever a plant has a ton of leaves on it, it's kind of hard to see that for shaping. Now, if you have a limb that's coming out that's like whacking you every time you walk by it or something, like you can take that limb off. Yeah, I mean, you could do some light pruning on that. But like I said, if you could wait until dormancy, it's going to be easier for you to shape into like a cool little tree, you know? And speaking of Japanese maples, where would you get one?
I know where I'd go.
Where would you go?
Where would you go, Josh?
I'd go to
Well,
Bates
you
Nursery and
know,
Garden Center.
I have some idea. It's right here.
Yes.
Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And I write a little blog every week, and a lot of folks are kind enough to subscribe to it. I'll just start on that point and then kind of backtrack from there. This week's edition is called June Enters Mildly, and it's just a reference to how the weather is going rather nicely. We're not having severe hot weather. We're not having severe dry weather. So these are all things that are great indicators for gardeners in general. And we've got a few things that you might want to think about that we're offering as specials. Whatever remains of our vegetable plants and our herbs are being offered at 60% off. Wow. And we also have a selection of these flowering and foliage tropicals. We've got them in a sun selection out in front of the checkout and shade inside the bait stream area, specially marked areas. Those also are 60% off, and as an additional incentive, bags of Earth Mix Garden, a 20-liter bag, also 60% off.
Whoa.
Believe that?
So,
Stocking it up.
That's a deal.
Yes, you ain't kidding.
And there are no limits to any of these. Come get what you want and what you, maybe a few extra. And so you're not being limited on any of these. Check them out. Also, the newsletter, it comes out at 3:50 every Thursday.
Promptly.
It always has 350 words. I challenge you to count them. And we put that on there. We have all of our links about the things that we're featuring, including this program here, Gardening Inside Out, and all of our other many connections that we have to the outside world. You can go to our website. And we literally do have acres of plants. We have all of that is searchable online. You can purchase it online. I should mention these special deals are only available in stores, so you got to come in to get those. But if you want to see what all is available in our rather extensive inventory, and we're not part-timers in the nursery industry. We stay stocked year-round because we know you're a serious gardener and your needs don't stop. So come check it out. We're located a mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. That's just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West, downtown Nashville. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from, even Smyrna, Josh.
That's true. And it's going to be busy in Smyrna. So come to the nursery today.
So come on out and see us and check it out. Bring photos of what you're working on, what your concerns are in your landscape. Bring those on your smartphone or your tablet. And our landscape professionals, our horticulturalists with decades of experience, will look at your unique landscape situation and help you to pick the right plants and get them for the right place the first time. Everything is more expensive in this day and time, so the importance of making those decisions well on the front end is even more important. It will save you money, and it will improve your results dramatically because you're not going in malinformed. So come out and see us, Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. So there you go. Thank you, guys.
Reaching Ed, those UT plants are still out there. You got to come pick them up.
You got to come get them.
You got to come pick them up now.
You got to do your video with it first.
That's true. We got to do that.
We do.
We also have to do What's in Room with Caroline.
All right, so Austin already talked about how we went with blue this morning. So here we go. Let's do a little blue walk. We're not feeling sad. We're just feeling colorful, I guess. So in the corners, we've got Carl Fuchs Himalayan cedar. So this was my Christmas tree in 2022, 2023. I can't remember what year. It's now planted in my front yard, looking amazing. And mine is in part sun, and it's doing fantastic. I mean, I would suggest putting it in full sun, but mine looks great. It's growing. It's got a little lean to it, but that's okay. And then switchgrass, prairie dog switchgrass. I know Austin loves his switchgrass. He's typically a northwind person, but prairie dog has a nice blue hue to it. Look how tall upright it is. Totem pole is also a great tall blue switchgrass if you're looking for something that color.
Those are from Monrovia, too.
They are from Monrovia. You are right. And then underneath the TV, these fake looking plants, no, Joyce, they're not artificial. They are real plants. This is going to be the OG endless summer hydrangea. Wow. I saw these as soon as I walked into the Baitstrium to start gathering plants, and I just had to have them. But they really do look like silk flowers. Look how big that is.
I wish that Leanne Rhymes song was playing in the background.
Leanne Rams.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
It is CMA, so I mean,
That's
come on.
right.
Wait, what's, oh.
Blue.
I was thinking
What song are you
straight
talking
Am I
about?
Blue?
Yeah, that one too.
Leanne Rams. That would be a great song to be playing in the background.
Tyler, cue that
You
up.
are right. Yeah, Tyler, 3,
And
Rhymes.
1.
Copyright strike.
I thought you would sing it.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. Sorry. I don't
No singing. All right, well, let's keep on going on this tour. And let's go move down in front. So the very, very front on the floor, we might have to shoot low. I brought Bountiful Blue blueberries. So that is going to be another plant from Monrovia. These are like the most compact looking blueberries that we have on the lot right now. They are short, they are shrubby, they look so healthy and full, and they have little berries on them everywhere. So yeah, you see that right in the center. That is it. And then the one that Josh is looking at and kind of has a confused face, a confused look, that's Zenobia. So this is actually not a blueberry. It's in the blueberry family, but not a blueberry.
On it.
So it looks like it. It's got that silvery look, but this is a great little woodland native. It will have these little white bell-shaped blooms that I hear smell really nice. I haven't smelled them before, but it is not to be confused with blueberries. This one is not edible. No. But I kind of want to try this one.
It's a cool native plant. I do know it cannot handle dry, arid conditions. It really needs moisture. Like it can even be on like creek sides.
So it'd be good
such.
Rain garden plant, perhaps?
Yeah, good rain garden plant. Yeah, because it kind of wants sun, but it also wants moist. So just know that. Not a hot spot.
It looks like eucalyptus as well.
It does.
For folks who want to grow eucalyptus, but it doesn't really grow. Sometimes you have luck with it. It'll last for a few years and then die. I mean, it doesn't have the scent of eucalyptus, but it does get flowers and has the silver. Oh, there's one little tall sprig.
Hi.
And then these little blue flowers, if you're wondering what that is, this is Evolvulus. What a fun name. Wow, look at these tiny little blue flowers. This is an annual that we sell back in the greenhouse. We have quite a bit in stock still if you're looking for something for your mixed containers that's going to set it off a little bit. I have not grown this annual before, so I don't know much about it. Other than I really like how it looks.
It's got some fuzzies on it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, really.
The flowers close up at night. Yeah.
Do they? Oh, that's Stokes Aster does that too, and that's one of the many reasons why I love that perennial. Blue on my mind is actually the one in the center, just in front of our feature plant. Keep going, yes. So it's a little more showy, a little more compact than the ones that we were just looking at. Yes, Tyler, keep zooming.
Zoom.
Wow.
There's the fuzzies.
There's the fuzzies. I'm a big fan of that one. And then we've got silly string hosta. These right here. Look at that.
That's a hosta?
That's a hosta. It is. It looks like praying hands, which I have, but praying hands is going to be a darker green. This is a blue hosta, silly strings. I am trying not to buy more plants, but I hadn't seen this one before. This might have to go home with me today.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
I know. Uh-oh is right, David. Uh-oh is correct. I cannot stop buying plants. Yesterday, Austin was like, Caroline, you have a problem, which I thought was kind of ugly to say to me, but
It's the truth.
It's
Wow.
silence.
You have a plant problem. It's okay. It's a good problem
My
to have.
yard looks great, and I
There-
get
there are
most of
worse.
them in the ground.
There
That's
could be worse
right.
problems. You're right.
I just love them so much. And then let's talk about our future plant. I have this one in my hosta lasagna bed. It is showing off this year, as are most all of my hostas. They are looking great. This is going to be the drinking gourd hosta. Mine is really big. It's taking up a lot of space. It doesn't get as tall as like my Dancing Queen and the Diamond Lake series, but it does get big and fills out very, very much. And it's cool when it rains, the rain will hit the center of the leaf and then just run down.
And you get up under it and you drink it. It's the drinking gourd.
That's right. You
if
just
you're
put your mouth
thirsty.
right under the end of the leaf.
Uh-huh. That's what I do. That's how I get my water.
Get you all hide. Yes, that do you now with
No.
all the hostas
Pick
that
the
you have
slugs
planted?
up, too. It's,
I don't even have a
you can
hosta.
notice where the slugs are at that point,
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
I've only found one slug on any of my hosta so far this year. We'll see how that goes. But thank you for going on this blue tour with us this morning.
It's
Beautiful.
So cool.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, blue to
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
blue
a good one.
plants.
No, it
Somebody
wasn't,
make a
Tyler.
whole blue bed and then send us pictures and let us know how it does and how it looks.
I'm trying to find the bloom. Look at the bloom. Wow. Cool bloom
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
I grow that evolvulus in hanging baskets. Does really well. Likes it hot. That's for sure.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Yeah.
It's a good
All
little
right,
plant.
so we're going to go back around to our bagworms because Joyce has a question. Is there a natural predator for bagworms?
3-year-olds.
Birds won't eat.
That's a good point. I don't even think birds really will. Joyce,
They're
I don't
too
think
gross
so.
for anything.
Well, the bag is so dense. Like
Yeah.
they use leftover plant material, but then inside of that is almost like this. Like they spin like a webby kind of cottony thing. Like if you've ever tried to open one up, they're really hard to like open.
You can't tear it.
You
Almost
can't barely tear it.
impossible.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know of any natural predators for bagworms. I really don't. I mean, you would think birds, but they're not even going after them. So
So they're a
Kids
little
and
too
dads.
high in fiber for most birds. You know,
Yeah.
that husk on the outer, when they collect all of the, whatever the host is that they're on, they're collecting that foliage and attaching it into the webbing. So I wish there was a way to do control on those that was more
Yeah,
easy
I-
and more beneficial, but they're tough.
There was, and I said Daconil because I think I've still got a bottle up in the shed. That there
You
was
can
a
spray it, but it won't do
no.
anything.
But I had the name wrong. But there was a very effective chemical that used to be available that got restricted use. I think you can still get it, but you have to be like a specialist and go to the education and stuff.
imidacloprid, maybe
No, it was a liquid.
it could be. That's another systemic. That's the most stout you could ever spray,
Right.
pretty much.
In the whole world. Hey, Risha's saying set them on fire.
Raish.
Back around to the
Be
fire with
like
them.
Caroline's dad.
Set them
But
all on
only
fire.
after
Burn
you
them
have
to the
picked
ground.
They make a significant.
Don't do them
snap
on
when
the
you do
plant.
that.
Don't burn them on the plant.
Yeah. No, don't burn them on the plant.
I could be remembering that wrong. I was little. And I remember thinking it was so cool. It's like you're shooting fire into a tree. They might have just been doing something fun.
They will pop
Let
like
us know, Dad.
popcorn.
They
but
do.
Oh, that's gross. All right, let's get back to some more questions. Best location for gardenia, and will it survive in Tennessee? I will say good luck.
There are hardier gardenias. We've talked about this, okay? But gardenia rarely to never stays purely evergreen through our winters here, okay? You're going to see some damage. I've not ever seen one that didn't have damage or just straight up died over the winter, okay? So we need them. The site selection on this is going to be a good, nice, sunny spot that's protected typically from like intense afternoon sun, but honestly can acclimate to a full sun environment, but in a warm spot, not anywhere that's like high winds or gets cold or whatever. Like we want it protected, maybe in a brick wall scenario, and that'll be your best
Alcove
bet.
kind of a thing.
Yeah, we just that's where we want them, and in almost always in the spring, you got to give them a cut back because there's going to be damage. Now, if you cut back, if they're alive, are they going to recrack and form and then rebloom in the summer? Yes, they actually will. So, doing a few things and not expecting perfection with gardenia is the first step with gardenia, but it can be done.
Yeah, and I would recommend since we know all this about gardenias and we're not trying to, it's not reasonable to expect that they're going to survive regularly without some kind of protection, is build you some kind of an enclosure. Maybe it's a big box type thing that's covered, and cut your plant back at in December every year. That would allow this enclosure to be set over the top of it, and then just enclose it. for the winter, and know that it's got to come off in the spring, and then it'll grow back out, and you'll provide enough protection for it that way to give it a chance to be able to survive. That's the most reliable way. And if it stayed out and it lived, you're going to have to cut it back anyway. So you don't lose anything other than just that year's growth. They're also the most temperamental of plants. If it's to any change in conditions, now that's more applies to when they are used as a house plant. If you go from sun to shade to dry to moist, or they just react to everything. So
you ain't lying.
Yes,
they're more dramatic than me.
And that's saying
saying something. That's saying something. I said it, Gardenia. You drama queen.
A match made in heaven right there.
Yeah.
You need to take some gardenia home and plant it. No, the world might burn down. We've talked a lot about fire, and this next question mentions it. Euonymus scale is covering all of my plants. Any hope or straight to the fire?
Euonymus scale is nasty, and it's specific to euonymus. Little bitty white dots is what it looks like pretty much all over the plant. Can it be treated and dealt with? Yeah, it's annoying. Like David was saying with bagworms, you think you got them all, and then you don't. Okay, so heavy pruning to get rid of, say, 90 to 95% of those insects is crucial. So don't just necessarily dig up your plant and burn it. I mean, at least cut it first. A happy, healthy euonymus, even if you cut it at the dirt, is going to grow back. So, I mean, I'm thinking we prune heavy first, and then we get a spray going to kind of get rid of the leftovers, and then watch it regrow. I mean, it's euonymus. Let's be honest.
Clean up very well when after you prune too.
And if you're going to cut it back that heavily, the use of a paraffinic oil is probably not going to be a bad choice, because you're not really going to be burning anything, and it's going to grow back out, and that's a very benign as far as to the applicator type of control you can use, but it's only in that specific application. If you start using paraffinic oil when the weather is hot, you can burn foliage or whatever. But if you've got it on euonymus and you're going to do like Austin's talking about, cut it back heavily and then spray it with that what was known as dormant oil. You could try a superfine sun spray oil. It's a little less effective because it's not thick. But if you really want to coat them up good, the oil just suffocates them. That's how it works.
Yep.
Hey, we're getting some questions and comments in on our social media platforms. Janet is saying, FYI, Hosta Silly String just won a Fancy Chelsea Flower Show award.
Oh, isn't that darling?
It's so
Goodness
cute.
gracious.
Another reason for me to bring one home. Michigan hybridizer Hans Hansen, great work. So
What a
good,
name.
good
Yeah.
work, Hans, or Hans, however you want to say it.
Hansen.
And then Donna says, I feel your pain with the rain beat down, Austin. My Annabelles took a beating.
Oh,
last
no, not
night."
Annabelle.
That's
Not
very
the
sad.
Annabelles. That's the true worst. Like, that's worse than my petunias. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Seriously, Donna, I'm sorry, because that is no fun. My Incrediballs were not floppy on most of the plant, but a few little side stems that were getting hit by the gutter thing coming down.
Yeah.
They were flopped a little bit. But I was nervous about this. I was thinking about it on my way in. The Annabelles, I didn't see too many around here that were flopped horrible, but Donna, I feel your pain.
We're so sorry.
Nothing worse than floppy Annabelles.
That actually happened in my
and to that
Snapdragons.
end,
You just
and to
made me
that
think
end,
about my
Austin,
iron butterflies, though.
Cutting them hard while they're coming out of dormancy, early in the spring goes a long way to alleviate that, because you have short stems, you have more flowers and they're smaller, but they're much more resilient to these downpours and they don't flop nearly as bad.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Donna, Donna sent a beautiful photo, which we got a sneak peek of. There is Donna's Sun King Aurelia. So what are
There it is.
Austin's favorite plants?
It truly is.
We put it on our Instagram and Facebook page earlier this week.
Glowing in
Donna,
the sunshine.
great work, first off. Mine looks pretty much identical to that. It's about as big, pretty much. I've got two, and they look almost identical. That y'all, all of that growth you see right there came from the dirt.
Wow.
Is that not incredible?
Unbelievable.
Like, it's nuts.
Wow.
I mean, that's a large shrub all from the ground, and we're not even into summer yet. All right? It's a fantastic plant, okay? Chartreuse foliage, things
It is
bounce
a
off.
great plant.
Look, put blue hydrangeas out in front of
There
that.
you
Oh,
go.
that
What
would
do
be
you got?
stunning.
You've got
Beauty,
beauty,
grace,
grace,
Blue
Drama.
hosta,
drama.
blue hosta around the base.
There you go, Tyler. So
Blue
three,
mouse ears.
three
Some
levels.
silly string. That was my only hosta that died that I've ever had die.
Carol,
And it's a great
not
color in a shade area without flowers.
Exactly, David. Great plant.
I've got one for y'all.
Let's
Boom.
see it, T.Y. T. Weiler. Look
Wow.
at
That's
you
me
poking up.
amongst the
flowering
squash. I built a squash trellis, and already that butternut squash that is to my right is at the top.
Oh, my goodness.
And it is very clean. There are no signs of squash bugs. I get to look under the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 T-posts and then some recycled wood strapped to that, attached to the raised bed.
Yeah, Tyler. Look, and also you can do some gymnastics while you're out there.
That's right. Or project a movie on it or something.
There you go.
Stunning.
You have a reason to use your little giant ladder, for
Yes.
Yeah,
And
there
the,
you go.
the little
Whatever
mode, not
height
the
you
giant mode.
Wow. Hey, Josh, were you saying something?
Yeah, Carol is saying chickadees, woodpeckers, nuthatches, sparrows, and titmice can eliminate bagworms. But you got to convince them of it. I've never seen that. Yeah, I don't see that. Carol,
I wouldn't rely on them
No.
solely.
No. Hey, David. Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
The nosy girl from down the hallway from WTN's watching us this morning. Hi, Pam. How you doing?
Hey, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
That's what they called her, the nosy girl from down the hallway.
Well, there's always one of those.
Great news report. Oh,
Well, she just wants to be informed, Josh, and obviously she is.
She has great
thanks
taste.
for tuning in, and to everyone who tuned in today. We've had a lively broadcast, a lot of questions, and we're here every week. So
Yep.
make sure you tune in anytime. It's rebroadcast on YouTube, so check it out there. And
yep.
what's your closing thoughts, Josh?
Well, another comment to Deborah on YouTube. Hey, read the label on that Bio Advanced Systemic 12-month. See if it's listed for bagworms. Okay.
I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah, so
If it's a
no
12-month
matter
thing,
what
I've heard
you're
of.
using, for whatever reason, always read the label.
yeah, always. Hey, folks, music means we're done. But for everybody here at Gardening Inside Out, join us. Look at all the social media platforms. Subscribe, like, share, do everything you can. And we'll see you next Saturday morning right here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center.